Okay, so we're looking at your screen right now. Here, I'm gonna. Oh no, you guys can. I'm just gonna move it over here so the recording can see it. So, all right. So, what do you got going on? What are any concerns? What are you currently wrapping up?
So I don't really have concerns. I put lights in the places that you said were
Yeah.
too dark, like the corners and whatnot, like behind that pipe.
Yep.
And I put the orange lighting in the hole where the robot arm comes out of, and that corner on the left there, the bottom left. I'd say the only thing that I have left to do before hitting render is like putting more into the background, like on that back wall.
Okay. I don't know if you need too much more in here because you got a lot of stuff. So the lights are drawing our eye all over the place. So we don't really need like a lot more to fill this out. It could just be like a.
Yeah, I was just gonna make it kind of like layered walls, pretty much, like so it's not completely black.
Yeah, when I stop screen sharing, I'll show you something really quick. So I'll show you something here. For the areas where we have like the lights inside of the holes, I'm wondering if we use a cooler light instead of warm because it's super bright. And if we do that, maybe like a purple or something like that, it'll just feel like it's not detracting because right now these are so bright that they're actually brighter than other spots in your scene. So our eyes are getting drawn to these spots more than in like these other areas. So you'll notice it like you have some really nice lighting over here and then it gets really, really hot right there. So if we reduce that, it's going to help draw that eye to that ball a little bit more.
Get the hotter lighting at the top, and it goes down to cooler lighting.
And this looks good right here, so I wouldn't change any of that. This guy is still in darkness, so I'd worry about like lighting him up more. And then other than that, yeah, that's looking good. So yeah, that's the big thing. Any concerns or issues at all?
No technical.
Okay. And we still have like today to do stuff. So
And I'll also be in tomorrow.
okay.
So I don't have.
Well, you might have this done today, right? So
Well, yeah. But just in case.
yeah. So what if, like I was talking about with Jace, what if I had to deal with that, where I just want to add some texture to the back? This is an easy, cheesy process that will give me some noise to the background without it being something that takes our eye away. It's not going to detract. And I could do something where if I take a cube and just stretch this thing out, I don't even need a cube, but I like a cube because I can start on the right axis for this. So if I take something like this and then I just were to go with multi-cut, maybe down the middle and then a middle and the middle over here again, and maybe in the middle of these two. So I'm just holding down Control and Shift to get these cuts. And what I can do with this is maybe I'll take some of these and push these forward. And maybe just something like this. So I might be able to, let's take these and push these back now. Simulate some sort of a plank or something in the background. I'm not saying this is like stylistically perfect, but we can kind of get away with this idea pretty quick where I've got this. If I were to put this from the bottom all the way down here, so right now I'm just thinking about like more of like an abstract pattern rather than like super representative stuff because I feel you've already got a lot of good stuff in there. I don't want to detract from what's going on, but I might be able to get away with if I take this and just pull that up all the way up. And this may not apply directly towards how you're doing it, but you can see if I were to put my pivot point on the very front corner, duplicate this and pop this over here, I can just kind of get some patterns or something going on that would allow for me to have something interesting for the background, but not maybe necessarily something that's like super crazy realistic stuff. What's cool about this is I can take all of this as well. I know I'm off, but if I scale, not that way, but let me combine first and then move my pivot. So if I put my pivot over here after I'm done and then just scale now, the whole thing gets scaled. And now I have just something in the background that may allow for, I don't know, if I turn on my Arnold render, kind of not too easy to see yet. Maybe I can scale this even more. Just something that allows for some light to play around in that background. I'm not saying that's exactly the way you want to go, but if this is a closet, maybe it's wood panels or something. Maybe it's maybe not that direction. Maybe it is going horizontally. So there's some ways that we can just play around with that without having to introduce a whole bunch of stuff, you know? So that's a kind of neat little cheat that you could do on that. All right, let's see. Let's move on. If I can. Am I not screen? I'm not screen sharing. Oh, cool. Well, I recorded it, so that's how that is. All right. So let's see.
I believe your screen.
Are we still on yours? But I'm not.
Yeah, because I'm changing everyone's screen right now.
That's a glitch. That's. Hold on. There we go. That's a very bad glitch. Okay. Well, luckily it didn't crash everyone's machines. That's the one positive. All right. So, moving on. Riley, you got your...
I just fixed the box thing because I don't know where it went, but I fixed that. I got like modeling done.
Okay.
The net went somewhere. I just gotta find it. And I animation.
All right.
There's more fish.
So you've got the ball comes down and hits the fish, right?
Yeah, it rolls off and it hits the top of the purple fish's head.
Okay.
And it bounces off onto the bag. Yeah.
Okay. It goes over here.
Yeah. It goes down and it rolls off the pirate ship into the hole at the top of it.
Okay. And so the hole is visible in the box, right? So we, yeah, okay.
It's right under the hole in the side of the ship.
Okay. So I like the idea that you're trying to introduce some sort of a background here. Right now it's blue on top of light blue, so it kind of feels.
There's gonna be like more layers of different blue, but it's
Okay. Okay.
gonna change the light blue to like a more closer to the darker one.
Okay.
Like an ombre kind of gradient thing, but
Okay. So anything like this, try and make sure that we don't see the faceting on something like that. So you put a bevel on it or something. That way we just don't see like. That'll kind of help out with that. Let me see if I can get. Oh, my computer won't let me screen share now.
Guys, it's my fault.
Everything's broken. Let's see. No. Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm here. Okay. So right here. So you got like this faceting on this. Try and get that smoother out because you got like smoothed out stuff here. That's all smoothed out, and then we kind of see that. So it takes us out of that. I would fix that. And then your lighting is going to come into play. Like cool blue lighting will be great. And you could, since this is underwater, what's cool about this is we can have so if I have a light here and this thing so if we turn on Arnold, and I'm going to go like 30 on this. And let's go crazy here. So once we start hitting numbers that are really, really nuts, and I haven't checked with the exposure, get the exposure up first before you start cranking numbers up. We're going to do something here that would be referred to as a cookie. There's a lot of other terms for it, but what this is let's say that I want to simulate ripples or motion in the water. So what I could do with this, if I take something like this, and I'm going to move this up, move this forward. Let's pretend this is seaweed. So I'm going to go in and grab some of this and delete. And then now I'm going to grab... You're never going to see this, by the way. It's going to be used to block light in some places. So if I had something like this, and then each of these could be a little bit different with my soft selections, so I can just kind of bump them around and kind of change this up a little bit. So if I have something like this and it's big and it's in front of my light, not that weird, but maybe about that big. So if I go in front of my light, now the trick is this would be a secondary light. I would have another light that would always be there, but let's say I'm going to take both of these. Well, first duplicate, take this, I'm going to move this back. So I have my main light and then I have this thing. I'm going to move this thing around. So I'm going to start here and then like take that and move it up and then move that down and something like this. It doesn't need to be extreme actually. It could be even a bend modifier or a ripple on this. So I have deform, nonlinear, wave, and let's do a deform, nonlinear, sine. Okay, so I'm going to move this like this, and then, yeah, okay. So I'm going to take this thing, and let's actually have that up. And then going down, if I move this, it's going to give like this little kind of ocean feeling to it. I need to get rid of one key because it's messing it up. There we go. So it's going to ripple. So if I have something like that, and I'm actually looking at my render, so I'm looking through this. Let me turn on my Arnold. What we should see once it's set up, as this moves, it's actually changing the light on that background. So it will give this kind of crazy, let's go, I'm blowing that out like crazy. There we go. Shimmer. So you can see that's already happening here. Like I can't really 100% show that while this is moving. But as long as my camera that renders is in front of this thing, so my render camera would be like right here, this thing that's moving around, some lighting on here, won't affect that. But you can see that I'm getting some subtle changes in the way the lights are hitting that. And that can represent water. So like the kind of shimmer of water on there. It's a nice little post effect if you have time for that. That would be really, really cool to just experiment with it. So I would try that if you have time, because it will give you dynamic lighting that will constantly change as the animation plays. So yeah. All right, yeah. Get your animation going on that. The lights will come into its own, like they will be a character, because this is not a character so much as like it's moving around, but they will cause personality in this. They will cause this to start feeling like an environment that is underwater by setting these lights up. Because right now, obviously, it's all flat. That's really going to help tell that story. So that'll be good. All right. So right now, you are adding your materials, right, D'Angelo? Cool. Okay. Angelina.
I'm working on the ball animation since I got behind it, but I might change some of the other platforms that with the ball go into the cloud since I can just duplicate the model.
Okay.
And also, I'm still making adjustments to the little slide bit since I didn't realize how big the ball was. So I'm trying to adjust that as well.
The scale of the ball?
No, the slide. I
Okay.
didn't realize how big the ball was.
Oh yeah, it was there since the handout was available. So yeah, we want to play to the scale of the object. So yes, this thing here, scale-wise, it would be difficult to scale this up without it being altering your shape. So you can try that. We might need to cut off some of it on the end because it's probably gonna, when you scale that up, will be much bigger on that. So yeah, I would adjust that. So the ball comes in, it goes through here, hits that, goes on here.
And at the end, it's going to bounce off that jello, which I probably could adjust the size as well.
Okay. Yep, so I like that. You could have that like right over here more, so that way he's just taking up that space, so it'll roll, hit, bounce, and then go in. So yeah. Yeah, adjust your scale, check to see how that's working out. Because yeah, it'd be weird if it tries to fit in that hole and it doesn't fit in there. So, good. All right, let's see. We had character. Okay, so you got your characters in here. Good. So these make sense for the scale and all that on there.
I kind of just put them there. Those aren't like folders. I just kind of put them there as like placeholders.
Okay. So is there animation in this?
There's a rough outline of the ball is with the ball.
Okay.
It's just like you figuring out where it's gonna go and stuff.
Okay.
You're not making that kind of base into the ground.
Okay. So right now, this would be like a triage mode where the idea of the bar fights with mice and all that, huge concept, it's not going to get done. It's too much to get done by Friday at midnight for an animated sequence like that. If we have these things kind of like maybe, let's see if we can like moving around a little bit. Uh-oh. Come on. You could do it. Oh, there we go. So if we have them kind of like doing something like this, that's cool. But I like from my own experience, I wouldn't be able to finish this by Friday at midnight with like bar fights of mice and everything. It just won't happen. So you need to now think about how we can pull back on this and still make it so it's about the ball going through the set and then ending up in this hole. So I would 100% focus efforts on the ball's interactions of like hitting tables or anything like that. So like right here, this would be cool if they're just sitting there, the ball comes through, and then it's just kind of flying as the ball knocks into them or something like that. I think that works. This works out great. I like the context of things like that. You need to get your lighting in there so we can see what the lighting's doing. We can use stuff like this. We recycle, just change your color to save your time on that. But yeah, think about from now till Friday, what are the things that we can do to influence this to make sure that we get a completed animation for that ball? Because that's the core part, animation of that. These are great as little characters. They're throughout here, having them in and getting knocked over, stuff like that. I think that's awesome because we can read this as like little tiny action figures or little animatronics that are getting destroyed by the ball as it's moving. But the whole idea of making these as character performances would be beyond, I think, the scope of the time that we have right now. So I would circle around the wagon, so to speak, figure out how we can protect and get this thing animated and lit up so that way it's awesome. Because you have the stuff, we just need to make sure that the ball is interacting, colliding, and then making its exit the way it needs to. So. Yeah. So just kind of like, scale it back a little bit so that way we can have that.
Paper mouse would be better, and like have a stick or something.
You've got these already here. Paper mouse animations is gonna be forever too at this point. So I would have these guys like doing something like this is fine.
Yeah, but do you think like just putting like taking those instead of just like flattening them and like doing the same movements, just like on like still stack
I think aesthetically this makes the most sense because everything is three-dimensional. So I wouldn't try to change this up right now. Yeah, I think this would be the easiest way to have these in your scene than changing to a different style of that. So yeah, I would stick with this. But yeah, scale it back so we can get the ball exiting on that, because that, like, I'm getting the Spidey sense of, like, okay, what do we need to do to make this finish? This can be daunting at this point, so I wouldn't do that. All right, and D'Angelo, I tried to get you earlier. What are you currently working on now?
So right now I feel like I'm in a good spot with the whole model.
Yep.
That's pretty good. I just want to, my main focus is just like the animation, the lines, and the rendering.
Okay.
First priority.
Okay. And that's so good. So you got some good props in here. Yeah, get the ball animated in there and moving, so we can see that completed. I love the fact you get the water on the shoreline. That's a great addition on that.
There's a second image with added sandcastle.
Yep, I had that. I accidentally just closed that. So I would have let's see, model progress, sketch. It's right there. Okay. Yes. So that's great. You can duplicate these things and scale them too if you want, and it'll make it look like they're just populated in the scene all over the place. So yeah, get the lighting in so we can see how the light's working, and get your ball to start moving. So yeah. All right, let me upload this, and you guys can use it.